Musashi also tells you to read his words with understanding and retention. And read them over and over and over until you finally begin to learn what the whole essence of the warrior mentality is. As new weapons are developed, they should be studied with the correct intent of the warrior, which is to master strategy with that particular weapon. The gun is a formidable weapon and has no equal at the beginning of an onslaught. Remember, we're talking when you had to load each bullet one at a time. At the beginning of the onslaught, but it becomes useless in close quarter combat because of the difficulty in reloading. The sword was the way of being. Simple as that. Yeah, you know, you had your wok, you know, you had your katana, you had your wakizashi short sword. You had your knife, whatever it was that you needed, but you always relied on the long sword. If this was your way of living, if this was your way of life. And we're not talking about the difference between the four types of society, the warrior class, the agricultural class, the craftsman class, and the merchant class, all depended on each other. And it all came down to the sword. No matter how much you want to live a life of bliss and live in a world of wonderment and joy and love, you need someone with a sword to cover your back. I'm not going to get into philosophy on this one. It's a fact of life, and I think those of you who are aware of what's happening here with the Book of Five Rings know that. And if you don't, well, now you do. And keeping in mind that the lance and the spear had to be used with consideration of distance, and the bow had no use in close combat, unless you were going to use the arrows as stabbing devices. Okay. And consider the times we are living in and the weapons available to us. As times change and new weapons are made available to us, we must continue to study. You have to learn the nature of those weapons, to learn to work with them, and incorporate that into the strategy of your sword. Learning the properties of all these weapons and how your sword works in relation to all of them. How your spirit, how your soul, how your attitude, how your sense of being works in regard to all of these weapons. The weapon is a tool to be used efficiently and effectively, or may only have slight value, even in the hands of a master. With the long sword or with empty hands, the stance must be strong. You must stand with firm self-assurance and self-respect and dignity to such a degree that you carry yourself this way in all aspects of your conduct with man or in society, so that you are not looked down as, well, he's good with a sword, but he's actually a fool. If you're a man of war, then you understand the requirements for peace. And this cannot be stressed enough. If you understand how to take life, you understand how to preserve life. He goes on to talk about the danger for a warrior to know only one thing, which we mentioned before. But remember, Musashi repeats himself over and over and over, the same lesson, with different explanations, because he knew, and I know, and you should know, that you can tell something to someone 10,000 times and they don't get it. But if you tell it to them with variations, eventually something's going to ring, pop. It's going to work. And that's what the whole idea of understanding strategy is about. How to tell yourself to understand something that is new to you, and if it applies to your beingness or not. You make that decision. Again, it's dangerous for a warrior to know only one thing. It will eventually create short-sightedness and limit the possibilities of additional growth. But you don't see variations in things. Same thing with a musician. Same thing with a painter, a craftsman. Craftsman can build an incredible piece of furniture. Nothing like it anywhere at all. But he's aware of other things. He goes, wait a minute, that's an interesting idea. Why don't I put a hidden drawer in that table? This is what is called conscious development of yourself through your art. And you must constantly apply yourself. If you don't do that, you'll become a drone. Simple as that. And you've seen all of these people. Oh, they're excellent. They can do one thing. They can do two things. But they can't conceive of the value of using their skills to incorporate another discipline into their life. That's why the warrior must learn the techniques of other schools. You must learn the techniques of other schools, and taking that information, apply it to the system that you are studying, if it fits. If you don't like it, obviously you don't do it, but be aware of it. Okay. Timing and rhythm and strategy. This cannot be spoken of enough. This is so important in the book of the earth, the fundamentals, the foundation of it all. There are good times and there are bad times for everything. Timing can be altered, rhythm can be altered. They can be altered individually or together. And you must understand that in order to restructure time, you should have a complete understanding or realization of the universe. Or else your own substance will be infected with error and you will be unable to function correctly in battles of any type. It's very important, man. This comes with constant practice that I cannot stress enough. This is Musashi and Hanshi Kaufman talking now. You cannot practice enough. And you must enjoy your practice. You must understand the reason for your practice. Besides getting off on the fact that, hey, look at that, I finally got to the point where I can handle that technique. Wonderful. Practice it. Enjoy it. Got it? Move ahead. Move ahead. Because if you don't, you're going to get stultified and become boring to yourself. And you will stop practicing, which I don't even want to talk about that one. That's the death knell for a warrior, to stop practicing. Understand rhythm and timing, understand them well, and you will understand the true way of strategy. It must also be understood that training is never completed. When the warrior thinks that training is over, he will find that the spirit of the thing itself he has been studying will elude him and fail to reveal any future revelations, which is what we just spoke about a minute ago. And one must never stop training. Again, over and over, repeat it over and over and over. This way the spirit of the warrior will continue to grow. And the way of the warrior is a way of life and can never be construed as a hobby unless one is only seeking to do technique to impress others. And you know about those guys and ladies. One must never stop studying the written passages of the masters. The written passages of the masters. Because every time you read the written passages of the masters, something new opens up inside of you. Hey, you can now understand this to a deeper level. Yeah, but you can now understand you to a deeper or higher level, as the case may be. You must study the words of the masters. One must never stop studying relative to the art that you've chosen to pursue. And this includes studying the words of masters of other arts as well. You will be amazed at how similar mastery is of your art compared to another art, and to be able to discern the differences that you can employ in your own personal self-growth. and development. Remember, the heart is essential for the intellect to understand what the spirit relates to. One more time. The heart is essential for the intellect to understand what the spirit relates to. And these things are important for the warrior to constantly meditate upon. And these are the 9 principles that Musashi says are essential to the foundation and the fundamentals of strategy. 1. Think honestly within yourself with your dealings with other men. If you're straight with yourself, there's no need for you to not be straight with who you're dealing with. So there's never a need for conflict. There may not be an agreement, so what, man? But you're not looking to take him off or her off. And because you're being straightforward, they will have an extremely difficult time taking you off. Again, constant training is the only way to learn strategy. Practice, constant training. Become familiar with every art you come across. You're a master swordsman? Make supper. But make supper that is exquisite and delicious to the level of your sword mastery. Strive for inner judgment and the understanding of everything there is. Everything there is. Because you will find that no thing is different from anything else. If anything is anything, everything is everything. That's Kaufman, Hanshi. If anything is anything, everything is everything. See that which cannot be seen. When you see something, you're trying to learn it. Look into it. What's going on here? What is this about? Ooh, that's a profound idea. I'm going to employ that in my own studies. Overlook nothing regardless of insignificance. Do not waste time idling or thinking after you have set your goals. You set a goal, you go for it. Well, I don't know. Then you should not have set that goal in the first place. You set a goal. I'm going to master my sword. My sword is going to master me. Remember, same thing in the world of commerce. You don't work for a company. The company works for you so that you can become more complete. Think that one through. Think that through. Now, these basic attitudes are essential if you want to free your spirit from negative thoughts which will interfere with your trip, with your journey, with your way. The way of strategy. They must be thoroughly thought about constantly, and you must put them into your heart. You must put these ideas into your heart and mind. You know? When you accept these needs for study, then you can proceed with deliberateness, diligence, and comfort. You'll be able to beat many more men by not fighting with them, by just looking them in the eye and them knowing, don't play with this guy. Not that you're antisocial, but that you are steadfast in your endeavors. And that's it. If you're real to you, other people pick up on it. They may not like you, but that's their issue, not yours. These people will realize that you're a formidable opponent and they will not have the heart to attack. And remember timing. Don't forget harmony with the universe and self. Remember that continuous study is essential to approaching perfection in a chosen art. Although some people may appear to be there, they too have to deal on a continuous basis with change, based on the rise and fall of timing and rhythm. However, by devotion to the way of your art, you remove yourself from the general mass of people and are able to concentrate more effectively on your chosen way. It is essential to also remember the need to function in society, good or bad. and that in order for your way to function through society, you must interact. If you wish to control others, you must first control yourself. That is why it is necessary to continuously study. And this is the essence of strategy. And so ends the Book of Earth. Thank you for watching. I trust you will find that my efforts are empowering you to understand more fully the Book of Five Rings and to develop a better sense of self for yourself and a devotion to whatever discipline it is you follow. If you're appreciating this work, please click subscribe, click like, and also the bell so you'll be advised when I put up another video. Feel free to put up any comments you want. Pro or con, I answer and address everyone. If you subscribe, I appreciate that. If you don't like what I'm doing, click don't like, tell me why. Let's see what we can both do, because even though I am master, I learn from possibilities of not necessarily understanding to the degree I think I do. And so I'm open. You can learn more about me, Hanshi Kaufman, by visiting my website, www.hanshi.com, and checking out my author blog at hanshibooks.wordpress.com. Now, in order to fully understand my teachings, I suggest you study my version of the Book of Five Rings, which you can purchase autographed and personalized by going to hanshi.com/books. Order the book, I sign it, and ship it out the next day. I don't play games. It goes right out. And in order for me to continue my work, I would like you to consider donating to the project. Go to www.patreon.com/Hanshi Kaufman. Additional projects are in the works, including my course on Sun Tzu's Art of War, Lao Tzu's Living Tao, and the biggie, Self-Realization Acceptance. And future videos will be of Hebiru Budo philosophy and kata and the comprehensive course in Hanshi Kaufman's Guide to Ultimate Self-Defense. No shame here. I need help, I need support, and I need backup. Feel free to make a donation. If you want, you can go to PayPal, Hanshi422@earthlink.net. Throw something. It will be greatly appreciated, and I will acknowledge you for it, by the way, unless you suggest I don't acknowledge you. Okay, thanks again for watching. Looking forward to the next session. See you soon.